Welcome to Contracting Conversations. My name is Scott Williams, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jim Valley. Today, we are talking with Mark Jenkins, DAU's Learning Director for CCON 021, the Research and Development Contracting Credential. Welcome, Mark, and thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Scott and Jim. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. Hey, Mark, to start us off, can you please tell us what the R&D credential is all about?
Sure. So the R&D credential focuses procurement methods, contract strategies, legal considerations, and other considerations for R&D that are not covered in the basic CON certification training program. There's also an emphasis on grants and agreements. The credential touches on FAR Part 35, DFARS Part 235, their PGIs, and it also touches on non-FAR based regulations, such as the DoD GARS, pronounced Dodgers, DoD GAR, and a few other non-FAR based policies, procedures, and instructions. And there's actually 8 separate courses in this credential. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Okay, Mark, I know people are going to want to know, on these 8 separate courses, what do they consist of?
There's 8 separate courses. The titles are pretty self-explanatory. So first we have AC 0800. We call it AC 800, and that's the federally funded Research and Development Center component. And that one just deals with the purpose, mission, and scope of FFRDCs, right? Federally funded Research and Development Centers, their purpose, mission, and scope, and how they're used for special long-term research and development needs that are integral to the mission of the sponsoring agency. The next one we have is CCON 21, and that is legal considerations for research and development. And that just talks about how we determine the appropriate legal and ethical processes specific to research and development actions. The next one is CON 0210, and that is R&D processes and programs. And just like the title suggests, it just provides an overview of the processes and programs in support of acquiring R&D using the FAR and the DFARS and the PGIs. The next 4 are all grant and agreement classes. And so we got Grant 0010, Grant 0020, Grant 0030, and Grant 0040. The first one is an introduction, and then the next one is kind of a pre-award module. The next one is an award module, and the last one is a post-award module. And so again, that just gives you a quick understanding of those award processes and the different phases when you're dealing with grants and agreements. And it really touches on non-FAR based regulations such as 2 CFR and the Dodgers DoD grant and agreement regulations. And then finally, we have a capstone. And that's an exam, and it consists of about 15 multiple choice questions. And so those are the 8 courses, but it's important to note that they're all pretty short. The first one is just 2 hours, the next one is 3 hours, and all of the others are just an hour each. And so it's a total of 11 hours. It's entirely self-paced, and there is no instructor-led training in the entire credential. So as credentials go, this one's pretty short, and it's actually relatively easy to get.
Well, awesome, Mark. Thank you. That was a really good rundown of what's in the credential. So it sounds like a lot of really good information for folks. Who do we see as a target audience for this particular credential?
So the target audience for this credential would be acquisition workforce members who are certified in contracting and who are responsible for acquiring R&D, research and development. Typically, they're going to be 1102s, so contract specialists, or 1109s, which are grant and agreement specialists who have finished up their certification training. Those are the folks that we would typically look to see in this credential.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you coming to the show today to discuss the R&D contracting credential.
My pleasure. Happy to hang out with you guys.
This is kind of a unique credential, really supporting the R&D folks out there. And so I think this will be well received. Thanks again. All right. So this is all the time we have for today. But please, if you haven't already, Subscribe to our Contracting Conversations channel. Type any comments below to include your questions for discussions and spread the word of this channel to your peers and those you supervise or lead. Let us help you answer their questions. We look forward to having future contracting conversations with you.